She's got long legs and short shorts, but she ain't got no teeth. She wears a red bandana on her head, and she smiles so sweet. She'll steal your heart at very first sight, she'll rip apart your soul. She'll torture your mind and waste your time and drag you down the road, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel.
Hey y'all, you're listening to the St. Andrews Jezebel podcast. My name is Ashley Feller. I'm a third-generation Panama City native, singer-songwriter, and musician. This is episode 29. This coming weekend, May 14th through May 16th, is going to be an amazing weekend. I highly encourage you to spend it in St. Andrews, celebrating the Blessing of the Fleet, as well as Salty Cat Day. Both are this Saturday. I can't wait to tell you about both events, as well as all the art and music events happening throughout the week. This week, we've got Sherl Morden, who is the president of Second Chance, here to talk about Second Chance's biggest fundraiser, which is Blessing of the Fleet and Sock Burning Day, taking place this weekend on the St. Andrews Marina. For this week's Old News segment, I'll be reading a piece published in the St. Andrews Bay News, May 15th in 1928. So that's a lot to cover. Thank you so much to everyone who has been listening and subscribing. So without further ado, let's get to it. Get your favorite drink ready and enjoy the show. The market at St. Andrews is every Saturday morning and opens in the lot next to the shrimp boat. There are a number of fantastic arts and crafts vendors, food trucks, and live music brought to you by Floriopolis that begins at 10 a.m. this week. By the way, the market is always looking for different musicians, so if you're interested in performing, please send me an email to ashley.feller@gmail.com, or you could always private message the podcast. The Floriopolis Music and Art Tent is usually located by the food trucks close to Beck Avenue. This weekend at the market is the Inaugural Salty Cat Day, an outreach and fundraiser hosted by the Market at St. Andrews to benefit Salty Cats of St. Andrews. This event is sponsored by Charlie Quorum's Place, the Historic St. Andrews Waterfront Partnership, and the Market at St. Andrews. Come join us for the first annual Salty Cat Day. There will be a shot clinic for both dogs and cats, provided by the Humane Society and Dr. McKnight Bayview Animal Hospital. This weekend is also Blessing of the Fleet, a community fundraising event coordinated by Second Chance of Northwest Florida. The 24th annual Blessing of the Fleet, Fish Fry, and Burning of the Socks will be held at the St. Andrews Marina on May 15th, 2021. The Fish Fry will begin serving at 11 a.m., with the sock burning event to follow. Processional of water vessels starts at noon, and the proceeds benefit Second Chance of Northwest Florida, a local not-for-profit organization that provides services to brain injury survivors and their families in the community. For more information on how you can help sponsor the event, please visit secondchancenwfl.org, and I'll be sure to link their website in the comments below. I see there's several tiers of sponsorships available for those who may be interested. I hear there will be face painting for the kids, and there will also be music by the St. Andrews Ukulele Orchestra, in addition to the Bay Haven Sea Cadets to present the flag, as well as additional vendors. Stay tuned for a full interview with Sherl Morden, who is the current president of Second Chance, to find out all additional details regarding Blessing of the Fleet this year. The Blessing of the Fleet is a tradition rooted in the history of blessing the upcoming boating and fishing season and remembering and honoring the lives lost in the previous season. It is the blessing of the fleets of ships so that many have a safe, prosperous season with bountiful rewards for their hard work on the water with no lives lost. At the event, the clergy stand at the edge of the marina as boats and ships and jet skiers and kayakers and anyone else on a boat pass by and under them. They throw flowers or petals and sprinkle water and say a blessing for them. The burning of the socks is a tradition of closing the season of cold weather and ushering in the spring and summer seasons of warmer weather. For the merchants, this equates to dollars spent on sandals and flip-flops, ankle bracelets, toe rings, pedicures, suntan lotions, foot scrubs, foot washing, shorts, summer dresses, cookouts, and barbecues, and everything else. The boating and outdoor recreation season means to their business and profits and sustainability garnered from the tourist season. It means packing up the winter clothes, putting away the boots and coats, getting out the water play and sand toys, and getting ready to celebrate the season with a commemorative burning of a pair of stinky, thick winter socks. In parts of the coast, these two traditions, blessing of the fleet and freeing the feet, or sock burning, are not always paired with each other, but in St. Andrews, they are. Billy Kay, the painted piano, is at her new home at the Salty Hobo under their brand new covered porch. The piano was donated by Tammy Hales, sister of Karen Williams of the Artist Cove Studio Gallery. Billy Kay was painted at City Arts Cooperative by Olga Guy, Krista Eggleston, Diane Marcato-Mashori, Jim Hayton, Caitlin Dillon, on behalf of Floriopolis. Thank you, Crook and Vicky Stewart from the Ghetto Palace and Kesia with Panama City Quality of Life for coordinating this fantastic street music program that places pianos in historic downtown Panama City and historic St. Andrews. Next up is the piano tuner, then Billy Kay will be ready to play. Big thanks to Bobby and the Hobo fam for giving Billy Kay a great destination Panama City home. The Hobo Porch Party is this Saturday, May 15th, starting at 11 a.m. Go celebrate their brand new front porch, and they'll have music all day, drink specials, and good times. Also this weekend, make sure you visit the Floriopolis Art and Public Spaces on Janie's Fence. The current theme is Songbirds. The exhibit is sponsored by Bubba T. Bird, Jody Jackson, and Annie Mae. This lively exhibit will be decorating Beck Avenue until the end of May, and it features 25 submissions, all contributed by local artists. Please stroll by and take photos, and remember to tag us, #Floriopolis, and #Keep St. Andrews Salty. This exhibit features artwork by Annie Mae, Heather Parker, Caitlin Dillon, Noel West, J.A. Robinson, Barbara Dyer, Silas Dyer, Kelly Dyer, and Jim Hayton. My two favorite paintings this week are the Hummingbird, painted by Jim Hayton, and also the Blue Jay, painted by Barbara Dyer. Both are beautiful in their own ways, and I believe this exhibit is a lovely addition to the St. Andrews scenery. If you like birds, make sure you tune into next week's episode to hear an interview with Norm Capra of the Audubon Society of Bay County. Before I forget, Floriopolis invites you to paint your own reptile on a stretched canvas for our next exhibit. You can paint this at home, or you can come to Floriopolis on Wednesdays from noon to 5. Also, our nectarines at Floriopolis are ripe. Please come eat them. And no, they're not radishes. Even though they look like radishes, it's not a radish tree, but that would be really cool. Week 2 of 22 for the Salty Sunset Market is this Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m. I had such a lovely time playing music at the Salty Sunset Market last Thursday, which was also launch night. My father played the conch at sunset, and my friends the Baker family all came out for the occasion, including their dog Riley. It was absolutely a wonderful experience being around all the artists and all the lovely people wandering about. It was absolutely a wonderful experience being around all the artists and all those who love art and music and food and, all the best things in life. You too can hang out with local artists and creatives at Floriopolis. We are Out Loud and In Sight tonight at 9 p.m. and we'll see you there, 1131 Beck Avenue. Gypsy Beach has 3 art classes this week. One is on Friday night. The second is on Saturday night. The Saturday morning is a paint project for kids, and I believe they're painting salty cats. Make sure you visit Gypsy Beach Treasured Creations on Facebook to find out more information about the upcoming classes. On March 19th at 7 p.m., join New York Times best-selling mystery novelist Michael Lister for a special live music and book signing event. Michael will be joined by many other authors and musicians for a great evening of literature and live music, featuring Terry Lewis, Tony Simmons, Jason Kretzer, Aaron Bearden, Denise Denaro, Pat Sabiston, and others. This exciting event is free and open to the public and will take place at Floriopolis on Beck Avenue in the heart of St. Andrews. Aaron Bearden will be signing copies of his new CD, A More Inviting Shore. Michael Lister will be signing his new novels, A Dark Radiant Train and Beneath a Blood Red Sky. Terry Lewis will be signing copies of his new novel, Incognito. Tony Simmons will be signing copies of his latest book, Weird War I. Pat Sabiston will be signing copies of her children's book, Can't Never Could. Live music will be performed by Michael Lister, Denise Denaro, Aaron Bearden, and others. Panama City Comedy and the Library on Beck bring comedy open mic every Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. All experience levels are welcome. Startup starts at 7:30 p.m. On May 20th, it's the third Thursday night comedy show at the House of Bourbon. There is a $10 cover. Make sure you gather up your friends, get some cold drinks, and get ready to laugh. We all know that St. Andrews has some great places to eat, but one place that I particularly love is Thai Basil. There's something about the flavors they incorporate into their cooking. And if you're a sushi fan, this is the place to be. Can you believe I once attempted to eat an entire boat of sushi? Well, I attempted it. But you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed. A new merchant is joining our St. Andrews neighborhood. It's called Sugar Buzzed, and it's next to Amavita Coffee. They're about 3 weeks away from their soft opening. They have all the good stuff like cupcakes, fudge, and chocolate-covered everything. That sounds like the place to be, y'all. They do custom work, and they also make one-of-a-kind gifts for someone you love or that gift for yourself. Have you booked your e-bike tour yet? First, visit Your Biker Gang Panama City on Facebook to book your tour, and then bring your friends, coworkers, or family along to experience the fun of the open road and your very own biker gang. They bring out the guided adventure around Panama City on e-bikes, the most fun adventure on two wheels. Lately, we've been talking about Yard of the Month for the month of May. Did you wonder who won? The Historic St. Andrews Waterfront Partnership said thank you to Ms. Patsy Meehan at 903 Drake Avenue. What an incredible job she has done with her yard post-hurricane, said Deborah Kivett, committee chair of the St. Andrews Yard of the Month. Ward 4 Commissioner Mike Nichols presented Ms. Meehan with a garden bucket of supplies courtesy of Lowe's on 23rd Street. Committee members were on hand with congratulations presented to her with bragging rights for the next month and the honorary Yard of the Month sign. Congratulations, Patsy. Do you live in St. Andrews? There are two Facebook groups for you. One is Ward 4. The other is St. Andrews Neighborhood, which is a smaller group for residents in the Ware District. Involved locals are the absolute best thing a salty little neighborhood and merchant district can hope for. Connect. Join in. This concludes this week's community events for the week of May 13th through May 19th. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you tune in next week for more. One of the best things about St. Andrews is that you can see live music every day. That's right, there is live music being played somewhere in St. Andrews 7 nights a week. Fortunately, my friend Ken Schaefer creates and publishes a weekly schedule for St. Andrews as well as most of Bay County. Ken's spreadsheet schedule is updated often when there's any changes. Ken also shares individual music events and is walking the walk and talking the talk when it comes to supporting live music. Not only does Ken supply the music schedules, but he attends several music performances a week and takes fantastic photos of the musicians. As a working musician myself, I feel blessed to have Ken and his wife Donna as treasured members of our local musical family. Make sure you like and follow Ken's page, Salty Sounds in St. Andrews, and Oh Boy Music on Facebook, so that you'll always know where all the live music will happen. Thank you so much, Ken, for everything you do. This Saturday is the annual Blessing of the Fleet and sock burning ceremony at the St. Andrews Marina. Not only is the Blessing of the Fleet a long-honored tradition, but it is also a fundraiser for Second Chance of Northwest Florida, a not-for-profit organization that provides a day program for adults with brain injuries. Second Chance has been around since the early 1990s and currently does not accept federal funding. So this means, in order to serve the brain-injured community, Second Chance gratefully relies on the public to volunteer at the facility, and they also accept donated items to be used at the day program, in addition to monetary donations to keep their services in progress. This week, our Salty Local is Sherl Morden, who is the current president of Second Chance. After retiring from a career in social work, Mrs. Morden has dedicated years of voluntary work advocating for Second Chance. She's here to tell us more about Second Chance's role in the community and about this year's Blessing of the Fleet coming up this Saturday at the St. Andrews Marina. Good morning. You're listening to the St. Andrews Jezebel podcast. We're here today with Sherl Morden. Good morning. Thank you for being here today. For those who are unfamiliar, what is Second Chance of Bay County?
Second Chance is a nonprofit day program for adults with brain injuries. And we have been in business since about 1992.
Wonderful. And what led to your career there?
Well, actually, I wanted to say it is my career, but it's my volunteer career. I worked with the state of Florida, and I am a social worker. And Dr. Sherl Morden was a psychiatrist in Panama City who had a business and seeing adults who had brain injuries, among his other many clients. But he specifically tried his best to help those with brain injuries. And he came to the realization that just a monthly counseling session or even some in group sessions, which he had, was not enough. And so in about 1992, he decided and went looking for a place to have a daycare or day program for them. And so Dr. Warner is the one who started it, and he found a little building down on Beach Drive. As I said, I was still working with the state, but he asked me to be on the board that he started. And so I've been there ever since about 1992. And Dr. Warner, of course, has passed now, years ago, but the program is still going on, and we still try to honor his wishes in any way that we possibly can. One of those wishes for him was that we never accept state or federal monies. And so we've always been on having to go out and have fundraisers and find our own funding, which is getting worse or harder and harder to do. But as yet, we do not have any federal or state dollars.
Oh, wow, that's amazing that this organization is essentially on its own when it comes to funding. Just to give our listeners somewhat of an idea, what are some of the services that are often implemented in the day program?
We have lots of different things that go on, but we have movement therapy, we have dance therapy, we have people who come in from different backgrounds to do history stories, tell different stories about whatever their interest is. We have one particular lady who comes and shares just wonderful stories from history that we probably never knew about in our education. We have volunteers. We survive on volunteers, and that's what I am. I'm a volunteer, and it is my second career because as I said, I retired already on the board of Second Chance. When I retired, I just moved almost full-time into taking care of some things in Second Chance as the president of Second Chance.
Can you tell me a little bit about the history of Second Chance's involvement in the Blessing of the Fleet, please?
Yes, in the beginning, I was not involved. There was about maybe 2 years, and I don't remember the harbor master who was at the Panama City Marina, but there was a couple of years that they started it. And it was, of course, on a very small scale in the beginning, but they started the Blessing of the Fleet. And then a new harbor master came along, and he was friends with at the time, the president of Second Chance. And so he and her, they got together and planned the first kind of large, if you will, Blessing of the Fleet. And that was the kickoff. That was the beginning of Second Chance being involved. And I think it was in Bay County. I don't believe there was any other efforts for a blessing of the fleet. But it started there, and that was for a couple years. And then he left the marina and retired, and Mr. Jones came on, and Second Chance was still in the picture. And we have had, since then, we've had the blessing of the fleet every year. And this is our 24th year.
Wow.
For the blessing of the fleet. Mm-hmm. And that probably doesn't count the first 2 years that we didn't have pictures, and from then on we have a poster and make it into a picture, and it's hanging on the wall at Second Chance every year for 24 years. This is our 24th year. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's an important year. That's amazing. I love that.
It is. Mm-hmm.
So I've been studying up on the origins of Blessing of the Fleet and the traditions that it encompasses. And something that's a little bit different about St. Andrew's Blessing of the Fleet is that it also includes the sock burning tradition, which in some places they're combined like they are here, and in other places they're two separate affairs. Can you tell me a little bit about what the significance is of the sock burning tradition?
As I understand it, and we did start it ourselves just a few years ago, having learned that there was such a thing. I think I ran across it on the web or something. And the story goes that the fishermen that are out all year fishing, sometimes they get pretty grubby when they are out so long. And the men came in on the boats, they built a fire on the beach, and they were sitting around the fire, and one gentleman started taking his socks off, and he threw them in the fire, and he says, let's burn these stinking things. They've been on my feet for a year. And so that's what started as I learned about the tradition of burning of the socks, and thought it was such a wonderful idea. And so we picked it up, and we didn't want to go too big at one time. It's just such a iffy thing, and how would it go over on? And we didn't do that at Panama City. We started it here at St. Andrews. People are beginning to really like it, and it's a fun thing. And of course the young people, the kids too, just love. So all year long we collect socks.
Wow.
And we ask other people to collect them too, and bring your old socks, and we'll have a ceremony around the fire pot, and we'll burn our old winter socks. And we say then we walk into spring, and of course it's almost summer here for us,
right.
But it's you get rid of those old dirty nasty socks you don't have to put on every day, and free those feet. And it's just been fun. And the merchants in St. Andrews have been wonderful. They hang socks all around, and they sell flip-flops and socks, and it's just amazing. And it's one of the things that is my dream, and I think St. Andrews also, merchants also, is that they participate in everything that we do during the Blessing of the Fleet. My vision is that it becomes a community affair. And I think the beginning, if not, there's other small beginnings, of course, by hanging the socks and doing all those things. But Little Village would like to sponsor the sock burning this year. And so she is going to sponsor it at the marina. The board of Second Chance is not quite ready yet to let it go, because it is such a fun, amazing thing, and it does bring people to the marina. But we are so pleased that she wants to take part in it. And so she's going to be the sponsor this year for the Blessing of the Fleet.
Oh my gosh, I just love Sandy.
Yeah.
She is a wonderful ray of light in this community. I'd like to get her on the show sometime soon, yes, because she's a real asset and a warm-hearted, lovely person.
She certainly is. Yeah. And Justin Buxton also. Now he's been involved with frying the fish for years.
Absolutely. I would think that many of the merchants here in St. Andrews would be eager to participate in such a community event. So for those who may have never attended the Blessing of the Fleet ceremony, how would you describe it, and how about the differences?
This year we have added vendors to take part, and we'll see how that goes. We did try it one year, and the wind was so bad on the marina that it just wasn't fun for vendors and their merchandise. So we're trying it again this year. So we're going to have maybe 20, I think, or so vendors out there. And so that's one of the differences with it. We do need to look at transportation down to the marina, because there's going to be a lot of traffic. And there's a lot of still the building and rebuilding going on at the apartments there. We know there'll be traffic that we need to be respectful of too. And maybe some golf carts or something to get us down that way. We're taking a look at all of that.
That's a great idea. Absolutely.
You're right. And it's fun, and it's at one time of the year that the board works trying to get everything planned to implement. The fish fry's always been the big pull for attendance, and all of our men and volunteers have always done the fish until this year. And this year, what we're going to do is we have a food truck coming, but our fish is still coming from Tarpon Dock, fresh fish. It's just always wonderful fish, and so Melissa's food truck will be frying the fish for us, and JR's restaurant is going to be providing the sides for us.
So as far as the actual blessing goes of all the boats and ships and jet skis and canoes, what does that look like?
What it actually looks like is just, I think, just a great thing to stand and watch and to think about. And there's so many accidents and disasters and losses in the water through the year, and people, different things, different reasons. But we have ministers that come, and they will stand. They have their cloaks on. They present themselves as ministers in the church, and they do the blessing. Each boat comes by. They have the water that they throw out, and I've never had a minister to say, no, I can't come. In fact, my own minister, Rick Connor at Parkway Presbyterian, is not doing too well these days, but he has come every year. And when I asked him this time, are you going to be able to go? He said, well, I sure am. Even though he goes on a scooter to go all the way down. Oh. He goes, and he said it's tradition. And so it is a tradition that we do that. And we have ministers coming from different denominations, and we have a Catholic priest coming.
I love that. I love that there is still some tradition being honored, because if we don't do that, it'll go away.
It will go away.
And this is a big deal. This is important. Folks need to know about this. I can't wait to see how it all transpires. How can the public assist Second Chance if they are not able to attend the event?
One way would be to maybe be a sponsor, and that's how we make any money at all, hardly, is that we sell sponsorships at different levels. And they could certainly purchase a sponsorship, and they might give the tickets, because we have tickets that go with each sponsor, and it goes from $5,000 down to $100, whatever you feel like sponsoring, and you get so many free fish tickets with that certain amount, and that would be wonderful. We like to give our volunteers, and it takes a lot of volunteers to pull this off. But we like to provide them with a free meal. We ask any volunteers that want to purchase tickets to give to volunteers that do work during the day. And we have the Bay Haven Sea Cadets coming. If you've never seen that bunch of young women and men, they are awesome.
Really?
And they are coming, and they are going to do the presentation of the flag, and they'll be in their full uniforms. They are just wonderful youth from Bay Haven. And they're called the Sea Cadets.
So that's ROTC?
Something like ROTC, yes. And they will choose what branch of military they want to go in, or whatever their career. But that's to prepare them, as I understand it. But they're going to be there to do the presentation of the flag.
So y'all even have the young people involved. I love that.
We love the young people to come. It's the young people that are going to be the ones to follow up. Myself and getting up there in age. And now my daughter is a volunteer out there every year, and some of her friends. And of course, we love for the young people to come. We like for the little kids, and this year we've got a lot of things going for the kids too. We have face painting.
Wow.
Yep. And we have the stilt walker that makes balloons and for the kiddies. And we just have several fun things. We have hot dogs for the kids or adults, but anyway, kids don't always like fish, but we've thought about them too for lunch. So yeah, we've covered all of it, I think.
It sure sounds like it to me. That sounds like a wonderful time for the whole family.
It is for the family. Everybody is invited to come.
I love that. Thanks, y'all, for doing everything that y'all do. In a general sense, how can the community find out more about Second Chance?
They can go on our website, www.secondchancenorthwestflorida, NWFL. We have a page that you can make donations to Second Chance through that. We have different fundraisers throughout the year. This past year we sold trees at St. Andrew's Market on Saturday, and that was a really great fundraiser for us. People came out and bought all the trees that we had, and so just support us by making donations. Call the office 850-769-7779 and tell them you want to write a check or whatever. We like to have people donate nice items that we can use in raffles so that we can raffle it off and make money. That's one of the ways that we do that too. And at the Blessing of the Fleet, we're going to have a 50-50 drawing. So if you can make it down to the marina and participate in that, you never know what you might win. But we're always so pleased and thankful that people will think of Second Chance and make a donation to us. We are on a little shoestring even after all these years of being there, because we do make the money, our monies for ourselves. We don't have the government money supporting us. I'm not going to say we won't ever, but right now we're still trying to keep Dr. Warner's wishes alive. And volunteer. We need volunteers for different things going on around the center and activities. If anybody, we love for singers to come in and sing with them and for them. And we just love any kind of assistance and help. That goes a long way. We have 4 staff. We have our director. We have our person that is in the kitchen. And that, by the way, prepares lunch every day for them. And she has a pot of coffee on when they come in the morning. And we hope and we ask them to pay $50 a month, but you'd be surprised at how many don't. In fact, I think out of all the ones we probably have 4 that pays. Most everybody is on a very limited income and disability, and they have no transportation. They have no, anyway, we help them when they need clothing. The community's good about donating things to us. And so we just help them and get along as best they can. And if they're trying to live independently, that's even more help that they sometimes need. Any way that the community could help us would be wonderful. We're at A.D. Harris Building in Building 4. We've been there for, I don't know, I forgot how many years, but it's just a great place for us. Plenty of room. We had to share the campus with FEMA recently, and we just had such a great time together. They were so helpful to us. Provided so many little things that they noticed that we needed, and so we were very good neighbors. And so I understand from a meeting that I had here with St. Andrews that there may be some more company moving in, but that's yet to be decided, I think, or is going to be decided. But we'll have company there pretty soon too, so maybe there'll be some fun interactions between us, because we go out on the sidewalk between the buildings, and our movement director has them singing and moving and jumping, and it's just wonderful, some of the things that they have the opportunity to participate in. But we want them to participate in more things, and it means more money. So anything that the community can help us with would be so appreciated.
Absolutely. I love that y'all are doing such wonderful things for the community with brain injuries. All right. Well, is there anything new and exciting or anything you'd like to share before we go?
I would just like to invite everybody to come on Saturday, the 15th of May, and participate in the fish fry and all of the entertainment. We have a band that comes every year. They've been coming for, I was going to find out how many years, but I haven't kept up with it, but a long time. And they are free. They don't charge us anything. And so they'll be there. We have, like I said, the entertainment things for the kids. We have the vendors, and we have, let me see, some of the other things that's going to be happening. We've got, of course, the blessing is going to be something that's just amazing to watch.
Well, that sounds like a wonderful time. Sherl, thank you so much for being here. I hope to catch you another time when you're telling stories with the Bay Storytellers. And
thank you.
I would really like to get a group of the Bay Storytellers here, so maybe each one could tell a quick story for the podcast.
Yes, and by the way, Pat and the ukulele band is going to be there. Oh, yeah, they're going to be there, and so is the Bay County Youth Orchestra. They're going to be playing. Yep, there's got just lots of things to come and see and hear. Yeah.
All right, folks, well, you heard it. Make sure you come out to the Blessing of the Fleet, which is May the 15th. And what time of the day does that start?
We start setting up the vendors at 7 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, we roll out everything else. It should be up and done. We put the big tent up on Friday night, and we'll start at 9 o'clock. We'll be cooking fish, and we'll be setting up, and fish will be ready by 10 o'clock, and we will be ready for the community by 9 o'clock for the vendors and for the Blessing of the Fleet. The Blessing of the Fleet will take place around noontime.
Okay, you've heard it. Make sure you show up for Blessing of the Fleet, which is May 15th. Sherl, thank you for being here. Until then, keep St. Andrews salty.
Thank you so much.
This week's old news segment was published in the St. Andrews Bay News, May 15th in 1928. This is called Food for Thought and was written by C.S. I chose this article because despite it being published in the 1920s, the message is quite relatable, even now. Food for Thought by C.S. Liars have so much competition. The best people on earth are those who have clean minds. The worst people on earth are those who have filthy tongues. The Master does not try to live our lives for us. Knowledge is insignificant in comparison with actual demonstration. Good or evil, it's all your creation as you think of it. Which is best, love or hate? Take your choice. Masterminds need no guides. Today is a long day. Take your time to think. Put your thoughts into action with, I will. The devil in you is a coward and you know it. Turn on him. You can stay in hell as long as you want to. We'll wait out here for you. Some people don't know paradise when they see it. You don't believe that bottomless pit has a bottom? Some people say a thing is, that isn't. Use number one things with which to build your future. Thoughts are things. Do all the good you can. Don't mind the other fellow. If you must quarrel, try it with yourself, for you are to blame. Fault finders are numerous. Christianity should never be considered a beautiful religion alone. The real Christians in the world are those who do the Master's work. How different life looks to us when we become enthusiastic about it ourselves. Think of spirit as intensely alive. Where your treasure is, you will find your heart. Neither criticize nor condemn others. You don't like it. Where Christ is, there can be no accusing thought. Use wings of love and truth if you wish to ascend. You will surely feel fine if you'll be renewed in the mind. Be good today. It may be your last chance. Some people's wants can never be satisfied. If you can be contented with what you need, you will find health and happiness. You surely prefer ease to disease. Go where you will on land or sea. You will find no peace if you carry your troubles with you. Some people haven't any more sense than to abuse their own stomachs. Good health is at hand and is always free. Where is there a place more beautiful than St. Andrews Bay? The long-lost paradise has been found. If you wish to see it, look within. You do not look like your troubles. Why unload them unto others? There isn't anything better and cheaper than good health. Think today, talk tomorrow. If you cannot control your tongue, call out the fire department. Some people love to be slaves to their appetite. There are several kinds of pork barrels. People that see hard times are looking for soft ones. Be an optimist, and things will change. Increase the talents that God gave you. For your own sake, be kind to your fellow men. Each day, find some opportunity to be of service. When you help another, you are serving the Christ within. You can cure yourself of all selfishness by losing sight of self. If you make conditions more pleasant for everybody, they will not leave their bodies so soon. When your mind and body are full of joy, you are healthy. Thank you so much for listening to episode 29 of the St. Andrew's Jezebel podcast. We now have a Facebook page as well as an Instagram account. The pages will share when future episodes will be published and more information regarding the growth of the podcast. I hope you visit these pages and you can show your support by liking, following, and sharing the pages with all your salty friends. Before I head out, I need to mention I'm hoping to share all kinds of public events, so if you're having a yard sale or you'd like me to help you promote a special happening, please DM the podcast on Facebook or you can email me at ashley.feller@gmail.com. The podcast is now available to stream on Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, CastBox, and Google Podcasts. I'd like to thank everyone who has subscribed and shared the podcast with all their salty friends. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you everyone again for supporting this effort. The intro music was written by me and recorded by Dave Schwartz at Boundless Sounds on the campus of Gulf Coast State College. The show was recorded by me in my music room. Till next time, keep St. Andrews salty.
Red lipstick, so thick, and a push-up bra. Tramp stamp, stretch marks, and a lacy thong, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel.